What's good, everyone? Welcome to another edition of Livewire Sports Media. So, the Indiana Fever um, are now 3-0 against the Chicago Sky today, which they beat the Chicago Sky. Um, I mean, I guess you could say handily, 93-78. The Indiana Fever was in control of this game from start to finish. After they took a early lead, but they never seemed threatening the game. They never seemed like they was. Um, I mean, even though they came out of the Chicago Sky came out in the third quarter and cut it down to two, and then Indiana Fever went on a 9-0 run um, to jump the lead back up. But like I said, the Indiana Fever was never in trouble. The largest lead in the game was 16, and the largest lead for the Sky was 5. So there you have it. And and they played at the United Center, which the game was moved to the United Center. Capacity was 19,601. But two of the superstars for each team was not playing. Caitlin Clark was out with a groin injury for the Indiana Fever, and Angel Reese was out with a back issue with the Chicago Sky. Even though this was Barbie night for Angel Reese, but it didn't feel that way. Um, like I said, the Indiana Fever definitely dominated this game, led by Kelsey Mitchell, who had a career high 35 points. Um, she has now moved what all time in Fever history with the most 30-point games. She notched her 200 career steals in this game. So you got to think about it this way. Kelsey Mitchell, she did it all. She did it all today. She shot 30. She had 35 points, as I mentioned, 6 assists. She was 7 from 10 from 3-point land, 12 from 19 from the field. Also, Aaliyah Boston had a double double, 14 points with 11 rebounds. Ariel McDonald, she chipped in with 10 points and 4 assists. And rookie sensation Michaela Tipson, known as KK, she chipped in with 14 points, a career high for her in the game. And then you had new acquisition Chloe Bibby, who only played 11 minutes, by the way, but she came in through the first half of the game and notched up 8 points, 2 threes, and was at the foul line, where she was 2 and 2 from the foul, and she had 2 rebounds, so she was solid in that game. You have Lexi Hall, who played extraordinary defense again. When she's on the floor, she had 7 points as well. Um, Sophie Cunningham, she had 5. Now, the Chicago Sky was led by Rachel Banham, who had 26 points. She was 6 for 11 from the 3-point line, and Camila Cardoso had a hub double double as well. She was 12 points and 12 rebounds. Now, if you look at the overall statistical stats for each team, you see that the Indiana Fever in field goal percentage led that 47.1. Um, and then, like I said, they was under 40% from 3-point line. They was actually 16 from 16 from the free throw line. Amazing. They was able to get to the free throw line that much in this game. Rebound, the Chicago Sky out rebounded the Indiana Fever 32-29. Assists, the Indiana Fever led that 26-17. Steals, we led that 15-7. Blocks, they had 5, we had 3. Turnovers, they had 20, we had 14. Points conceded off of turnovers, we gave up 20, they gave up 31. Fast break points, there was 5-11. And points in the paint, we won that by 2 points. So, like I said, this game was pretty much everything that we could expected in this game. Um, but you definitely didn't have your top stars in the game at all. And it was pretty good though, but you got to think about it. Season high for Kelsey Mitchell, 7 threes. Season high, 35 points. She leads all guards in the month of July with 22.2 points per game. She has done everything that the Fever had asked her for since Caitlin Clark has stepped out. So that is great to see in that standpoint. Um, can the Fever continue this run? I think they can. Um, Again, Chloe Bibby came in 8 points, 2 rebounds, 2 threes, and 1 block in 11 minutes. Kelsey Mitchell was a plus 25 today in the stance. Um, the topic of the game was the third quarter. Dominate the third quarter for the Fever over the Sky. Indiana wins the season series, which they played 5 times. Indiana has took 3 out of the 5 so far, with 2 more games remaining. Um, so the thing about it is that can the Indiana Fever continue this? Can they continue to build momentum? Can they continue to do the things they did? The Indiana Fever, like I said, led at halftime 51-39, but they took their foot off the gas a little bit down the stretch in the third quarter, allow the Chicago Sky to get back in the game temporarily. So, but I'll let you listen to what Kelsey had Mitchell have to say about Michaela Tipson.
How have you seen her improve and become more comfortable throughout this season? 14
She's
today.
amazing. One of the best rookies I think I've ever come across. She's I don't know how to say it, like the ultimate pro. Shows up, no problems. And I think when you have locker room culture happening, you need great people to make it greater. And I think we got a good addition here. So shout out to KK.
Yes, KK has been stepping up her game. She came in for Natasha Howard, who did not score at all today. Natasha Howard did not score 1 point today for the Indiana Fever, and she only played 12 minutes. So that means in a game like this, you didn't really need her, to be a scorer. She just came and did what she needed to do, but the others stepped up, and that's what's going to take for the Indiana Fever continue to build this chemistry down the stretch until Caitlin Clark gets better. They have to continue to step up. They're gonna have to continue to play a unit. They're gonna have to rely on each other. Sometimes it might not be Kelsey Mitchell getting this much points. It might not be. Um, it might not be AB's night, but somebody have to continue to step up. We have seen Sophie Cunningham has been hot for the last few games. She didn't have her best game today, and that happens, you know. But I'll let y'all listen to what Stephanie White had to say about putting KK in, putting Chloe in certain situations, with AB.
What went into Chloe and Michaela playing over DD today? Yeah, I mean, more than anything, they were playing zone. So bringing in Chloe early and having 4 shooters around AB was important. KK, it was going with her early just to see what she could give us on the defensive end. I felt like they got too many easy looks. KK's versatility allows us to play her defensively in a different way than we could play Didi. And then they had it rolling in the first half, and so we just stayed with that 8 or 9 or however many there were.
Kelsey, she talked about breaking, but just any concerns with her health during that game? Like she got a little banged up there.
Not yet. Obviously there were concerns when it happened. Again, sometimes protecting airborne shooters and making sure that freedom of movement, all that stuff is so important. So there's concerns while that's going on there. Obviously there's going to be concerns about her recovery, but not as far as anything acute that I know of. But we haven't really had that conversation yet.
One at the end of the first half, was that a contact injury?
All right, so you got to hear what Stephanie White had to say about Michaela Timpson and Chloe Bibby. I do believe Chloe Bibby most likely will get a stay on this team. It's just going to be remain to see how she plays, you know, in the next matchup on Wednesday when they play Phoenix. But nevertheless, the Indiana Fever, they move up. They move up in the standings. They move up in the standings. They right now they 14 they 14 and 12 right now. 2 games over 500. They 8-6 from home. They 6-6 on the road right now. So they are right there battling in that 4, 5, 6 slot with Atlanta, Seattle. So they one game behind Seattle for the 5 spot. They 2 games behind Atlanta for the 4th spot. So it's going to be an interesting stretch for the Indiana Fever as these games continue to pile on. But anyway, like, comment, subscribe. Let me know about what you thought about the game. Um, can the Fever continue to keep this momentum going? I would like to say yes, but each game is a different challenge. So until the next episode, Live Wire Sports, and I'm out.
Hey, so amazing. You see how they playing? Live Wire, it's all about sports and entertainment. You don't want to miss it, so official like you never seen. Keep it going till the whistle blowing from the referee. Everything from highlights and stats. You know that we gotta run it back, whether on the field or the court. You know that this is where it's at. Subscribe, no delaying. This is Live Wire, sports and entertainment. Let's go.